Feeling good?
Oh, you put that thing on the wall.
So you see how we do it here on Saturday.
My God Almighty, I call heaven and earth to be a record today. That Rock Nation, you will crumble.
Corporately sponsored pedophile. Everybody knew.
Once it came out on R. Kelly, Jay-Z fled the scene.
The point was he knew all the time.
For 20 years, Jay-Z refused to speak out against R. Kelly, but his former partner, Dame Dash, won't stay silent.
Aaliyah is key to everything. Aaliyah and I were very serious. We talked about getting married.
I forgot about Jay, huh? We only know about Dame and Dash messing with Aaliyah and R. Kelly. But that ain't the only one that Jay had when she was underage. Yeah, I remember Fox Brown and Jay.
So it looks like the walls are closing in on Jay-Z after he allegedly pulled major strings to have Diddy taken out of prison. This comes after reports revealed that the feds are actively building a whole RICO case against him, as they did with Diddy. And get this, apparently Diddy has been working side by side with them to pull this off, so he gets released before his actual date. If there is anyone who can help the authorities gather concrete evidence of Jay allegedly unaliving people and messing with a lot of women who were still under the age of 18 in exchange for opportunities in Hollywood, it will be Diddy. Now, as most of y'all already know by now, Jay and Diddy were already close friends for years. It wasn't until Diddy got busted that Jay separated himself and began acting like they never had a relationship. In fact, there was a photo of Jay on Diddy's website for the longest time, and they had been spotted together at a lot of industry events over the years. And a lot of people don't know this, but they actually have a lot more similarities than Jay wants the world to believe. The only difference is that Jay is more slick with his actions. Like that time when Jay came under a lot of heat some years ago, when he was exposed for forcing Foxy Brown, who was just 15 years old at the time, into a relationship with him in exchange for a career in Hollywood. People couldn't help but point out how similar this sounded to what Diddy did to Cassie. He started dating her when she was only 19, promised her a big career in Hollywood, and then, according to what she later claimed, completely controlled her, damaged her, and blackballed her when she tried to move on.
Was I shocked when Jay said the line in Picasso Baby? Yes.
I never stuck my cock in the box, but damn if I ain't open Pandora's box.
Because we've talked about that. We have a history that supersedes music, and we know.
And then there was that whole situation with Aaliyah, when R. Kelly was exposed for lying about Aaliyah's age and marrying her when she was way too young to even be in that kind of situation. And you would think once something like that came out, Jay would distance himself immediately. But nope. Instead of stepping away from R. Kelly, Jay kept working with him. He even went on to release a whole joint album with him called The Best of Both Worlds.
We had the, the Fiesta remix and Not Guilty, and doing that and hearing how those two singles came out. We would always toss the idea back and forth, but it was just an idea. Like, we can do a whole album together. And we creative people, so.
I guess Jay was trying to get at her as well, and I didn't know. He was sending flowers and he was courting her.
Because the rumor originally was that you were connected to Jay. Exactly. Jay and I were hanging out a lot. He's my homie. We had a lot of fun together, but we never dated like that.
After Aaliyah tragically died in that plane crash, rumors started flying that her death wasn't just some random accident. People began speculating that it was allegedly some kind of sacrifice orchestrated by higher-ups in the industry. And of course, names like Jay, R. Kelly, and Diddy started getting thrown into the conversation. Apparently, Aaliyah didn't even want to get on that plane in the first place. She was scared, uncomfortable, and refusing to board. She was given a sedative against her will, and once she was out of it, they placed her on that plane anyway. And the next thing we knew, she was gone. So after Jay's weird history with Foxy, and then his alleged failed attempt at getting with Aaliyah, people say that's when he turned his attention to Beyonce, who, just like Foxy and Aaliyah, was also very young when she first came around the industry. In fact, Jay himself revealed in his 2007 interview with Charlie Rose that he met Beyonce when she was young, but claimed he waited until she was old enough before making a move. Now, to some people, that sounded like he was trying to make it look respectful, but to others, it sounded like he basically admitted he had his eye on her early and was just waiting for the appropriate time to step in.
She never got to experience life with the different types of people, and the fact that he was so old low-key, I feel like the only way she expresses herself is through her music.
And as if that wasn't already disturbing enough, Beyoncé's ex-bodyguard, Uncle Ron, also came out making some heavy claims about Jay. According to him, Jay allegedly played a role in getting Beyoncé hooked on substances so he could have more control over her behind the scenes. Now let me be clear, these are Uncle Ron's allegations, not confirmed facts. But the way people have been comparing this to what Cassie accused Diddy of doing to her is what makes the whole thing even more disturbing. Because if y'all remember, Cassie claimed Diddy kept her around substances and alcohol to the point where it controlled her life. She accused him of filling her up with substances and alcohol, including ketamine and ecstasy, causing her to fall into dangerous addictions that controlled her life.
Hardly nobody knows, but I'll say it, man. Yeah, Beyonce's on drugs. She been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way.
And then there's Jay's alleged ex-mistress, Kathy White, whose name always comes up whenever people start digging into these darker Jay-Z rumors. According to the streets, Kathy was Jay's mistress, and people believe she was unalived because she may have known way too much about him, Beyoncé, and whatever was going on behind the scenes at the time. Now let me be very clear, none of this has been proven, and I'm not saying Jay did anything, but the way people keep bringing up the alleged affair, her sudden death, and the old Hollywood Street King article, it seems they believe there's way more to that story.
Kathy White's life was taken unfairly. She actually died screaming. And the Carters are responsible. But one of them is just a little more responsible than the other. Question is, did Sean Carter delete his mistress, his pregnant mistress, because his wife was jealous? Or could it be possible that maybe his wife's temper is just a little worse than most people think? And maybe he just had to clean it up to protect the brand, see? I mean, I'm just speculating.
And if y'all remember, Tory's father, Sunstar Peterson, made a whole scene outside the courthouse after Tory was sentenced. Baby, he was not holding back at all. He went off on Jay-Z and accused him of pulling strings behind the scenes to help get Tory locked up. And then he took it even further, accusing Jay of allegedly sacrificing young men in the industry to boost his own career and the careers of the people connected to his management company. Sunstar basically said Jay likes to present himself as this community savior, this powerful black billionaire who's here to uplift everybody. But behind the scenes, he's allegedly causing chaos and destroying people who get in the way. Now, obviously that was Sunstar speaking from a place of anger after his son was sentenced, so take it how you want. Now, some of y'all might be wondering why Jay would put this much energy into destroying Tory in the first place. Well, word on the street is it all goes back to Tory refusing to sign with Roc Nation. According to the rumors, Jay tried to bring Tory over to Roc Nation, but things went left behind the scenes, and ever since then, people claim Jay had it out for him. Allegedly, Jay didn't originally plan to use Megan to get back at Tory, but once the shooting situation happened, people believe he saw an opening, because even before Tory ever got convicted, it already looked like the industry had turned all the way against him.
People don't understand my music right now. The platforms got it in a way where when you look at my when you look at the homepage of these platforms, you can't even find my music. You can't find it nowhere. It's as if I never even dropped nothing. So in order for people to actually have my music chart anywhere, they got to go search for it and individually look for my name and all kind of stuff like that. And it's crazy because they brought it to #1. But I just asked, like, at some point, when does this not seem to be unfair to y'all? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like y'all are treating me as somebody that y'all think I am and not treating me as the person that I actually am. And that's not fair. Y'all don't know my life. Y'all know my music. My music is on the top of charts, which means there's a demand for my music. If there's a demand for my music, it's y'all job to curate that music to the people there's a demand from. That's all I ask, is treat me fairly.
Now, with all this, you can imagine how quickly people accused Jay-Z when Tory ended up getting stabbed 14 times in prison. Tory's team released a statement at the time saying, and I quote, "Tory was stabbed 14 times, including 7 wounds to his back, 4 to his torso, 2 to the back of his head, and 1 to the left side of his face. Both of his lungs collapsed, and he was placed on a breathing apparatus. He is now breathing on his own. Despite being in pain, he is talking normally, in good spirits, and deeply thankful to God that he is pulling through. He also wants to thank everyone for their continued prayers and support. And now people are pointing fingers at Jay-Z again, after Diddy was also attacked in a very similar way in prison. Word on the street is that Jay found out Diddy had been talking to the feds and supposedly decided to pull strings to get him silenced. According to reports, the fight happened after an inmate said something to Diddy about sleeping with one of his side pieces. A spokesperson for the Federal Bureau of Prisons told News Nation that for privacy, safety, and security reasons, we do not release information regarding the conditions of confinement for any inmate, including housing assignments, nor do we discuss whether a particular inmate is the subject of allegations, investigations, or sanctions. As usual, people had their thoughts like this person, who said Diddy was probably provoked purposely. Depending on the outcome, he might have to serve more time. I think that's the objective of it, to keep him there longer. Another person said his jail time will keep moving up because he has dirt on a lot of celebs. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Jay-Z being accused of allegedly having a hand in the attack? And do you really think this whole situation will make Diddy sing even louder? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.